So obviously, interconnected universes, um, not just series, but interconnected universes, are becoming increasingly more common in modern day fiction. Primarily driven by things like the MCU series, which, an interconnected universe, uh, and is a series usually, but a lot of the time, versus a series, the internet connected universe will have its installments are a lot farther removed from each other. They'll have some overlapping characters and places and etc. But they ultimately the main connection is that they happen in the same universe a lot of the time. Versus in a series, they tend to be more in succession with each other. So I gotta say, this is someone who writes a lot of my stories are in an interconnected universe. I think it's easier. I think it's actually easier to write an interconnected universe and to figure out how everything fits together and to contextualize everything within the same universe, because I already have a bunch of pre-prepped lore. You're working off of a baseline. I have I know what all these different kind of scenes, these jobs, these brands, these places. For example, there's recurrent cafe throughout a lot of my stories that is mildly plot important, and the characters reference all the time. It is one of the biggest connections between all of my stories. Oh no, I need somewhere for the characters to be at. I need them to go meet somewhere when they're in town, and I can just the cafe's right there. It has everything, or just things like that. Yeah, for example, a lot of my stories are about musicians, and so I know what the music scene was like in universe, and all the different record labels and uh, recording studios and all the different kind of tours and stuff that they would have all gone on, and it's a lot easier to kind of put all of that into context for me because I'm working off of a baseline. It's already a bunch of pre-established lore to work off of. I don't have to come up with a bunch of stuff, and if I need to who helped them make this album, I can just pull one of the other characters because they're all interconnected. I mean, it can be tougher when you're trying to keep continuity straight sometimes. That can be difficult, but I find it easier because you're working off of a baseline. You don't have to come up with origins for a lot of stuff. It's kind of like writing fan fiction, basically, where you already have a bunch of pre-established characters and pre-established universe. It's kind of applying a similar sentiment, not the same, but a similar sentiment to basically, okay, I already have a world and a bunch of characters to work off of. I'm just adding more things to it. What are your thoughts on that? Do you find it more or less difficult to write interconnected stories like that? I find it easier. And do you enjoy reading stories like that or watching them in movies, for example?